Do you want to hit us with that intro music?
The sweet, sweet intro music.
Yeah.
Hi, my name is Bianca, and I got Cook Serve Delicious from the writing of the dried black beans on the floor in our pantry.
Spooky. Hi, my name is Trent, and I dug The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt up from a grave, but then I had to forfeit it to the authorities for grave robbing.
Oh,
And I forgot I owned that.
Welcome to I Forgot I Own That. We, Trent and Bianca, are here to tell you about our games that we own but have not played yet or forgot about or what have you. And we're here to tell you our hot takes, dish out our opinions, our ratings, our very, very unofficial ratings of these games. So just, join us for the conversation. But first, we like to talk about the best thing we saw this week. Mm-hmm. So, Trent, what was the best thing you saw this week?
I'll give you a hint.
Hint.
It's a tree.
A tree.
A tree. So I've been doing a lot of walking and like jogging and things outside this week because the weather's been really nice.
Yeah.
And also I need to get fit so I don't die when I have to do physical labor here shortly.
Get fit.
And so I walk along the boulevard that's a couple blocks south of us.
Mm-hmm.
There's like, lots of greenery, lots of beautiful old houses.
It's one of those like giant streets where there's like, it's one way, but one way on two sides of the street, but in the middle is this long, just green, grassy patch where you can like picnic and stuff as the cars drive around you.
So the tree in particular is actually not in the boulevard. It's by someone's house.
Oh, and you're creeping on someone's house?
Okay, in my defense, the tree is literally on the sidewalk. Like, I'm not like peering over the back fence or something. It's right there. So it's just this beautiful, giant, old, like, I'm guessing probably oak tree. Mm-hmm. And it's probably older than the house that's there. And that's saying something because there's a lot of old houses in this neighborhood.
There are.
And it's just got the best, like, canopy cover. It's got, like, all these scraggly, like, zigzaggy limbs that go out and they cover, like, the whole lot with just this beautiful canopy of leaves. And every time I walk by it, I have to, like, stop and just, like, look up at the leaves for a little bit. So I'm like, it's a good tree. It's a very good tree. What's the best thing you saw this week?
So at my former climbing gym now, because I officially had to end my membership because we're moving. But
Big rip.
we're doing kind of this like 6-week challenge where you're just like put in teams and you do different challenges and try to score points and whatnot. And one of the challenges for last week was to create a video montage of your team using, your team song and your team name and team colors.
Sure.
My team is in dead last, so we just like went hard on this video, not at all doing what we were like supposed to. We all found out what type of element bender we are from like Avatar: The Last Airbender. The cartoon, it's a cartoon, and if you're not familiar with it, it's on Netflix now, so please go watch it. It's
show
so
from
good.
my childhood.
So it's earth, water, fire, and air are your options. And so I already knew that I was a firebender, and a couple of my other teammates knew what benders they were. But just in case, I sent out the BuzzFeed quiz to determine
the
what type.
The official results.
To determine what type of bender that everyone is. And then we created our video. Shout out to Ben for creating the video. We used the Avatar: The Last Airbender opening credits, but inserted videos of ourselves using our elements. So for me, I just put my face next to the our stove and turned it on. So it was like fire, and that's and then like the air one was just like blowing on some cilantro leaves, and the water one was just like tossing your hand in like a pool of like a creek. I think she was hiking.
Sure.
I think Mary was hiking, and then for Earth, Ben did like a moving a plant in soil, like with his mind sort of thing. So he just cut all of this into the Avatar The Last Airbender opening credits. But then in the part where it was like the Fire Nation attacked, Ben threw in the video
Oh my god.
of our building's whipping girl, which is this woman who lives in our building who's some sort of performer, maybe circus-y performer or something, who practices whipping out in the front of our building. She just goes out there and cracks her whip.
Sure.
But one day she was out there and her whip was on fire purposefully. Like she was dousing it in some sort of flamey liquid and then lighting it, and then she would like whip it around. And so she's just whipping this fire stuff. And so the video that Trent took of Fire Whipping Girl made it into the end of the video. So just this whole video of like us being total nerds and being goofy, and then Fire Whipping Girl at the end of it was just like, it made me so happy.
Everything changed when the Fire Whipping Girl attacked.
It made me so happy to see that. And I'm sad that this is the last week of the challenge. So
Rest in peace, but it's okay. So what'd you play this week?
Oh my god, I played Cook Serve Delicious. Oh my god, I love this game so much.
Good, I knew you would.
I love it's like everything, like, because I love simulation games and I love cooking games. Like I was big into like Diner Dash back when that was a thing. One of those games where you just like control like a waitress and you're responsible for managing the orders and cooking everything and doling it out to your customers before they get too impatient and leave.
Sure.
Sort of thing. So I love this type of game, and that's what this is. Here we go. Okay. It was developed by Vertigo Gaming and was released in 2012. And it's a restaurant sim, but it's like a typing restaurant sim.
Typing restaurant sim? Do you care to elaborate on that?
Yeah. So, wait, I'll get to an example later. But generally, the way that you do anything in this game is by using your keyboard as commands. So, like, you can use your mouse and just click everything to make things happen, but in my opinion, the faster way to do it is to use the keyboard bindings. So, like, if someone orders a salad with ranch dressing and everything on it, I would type like really quickly. I would type like RCBOMG, because that is all of the fixings of the salad. So it's typing commands. That's why I'm calling it a typing restaurant sim.
That's just a novel genre that I am not privy to.
It's because I'm the one that labeled it that way. It's a restaurant sim, is what it is, but I added the typing element to it because I think that best encapsulates what this is. So you are the like manager / cook / just everything chore person of this used to be really popular restaurant in like a Japanese skyscraper. You're like in Japan somewhere and you're in a skyscraper. This used to be awesome restaurant, but now you have to like build it from the ground up again. So you are going from basic of basic, selling like hot dogs, pretzels, fries, fountain drinks, that sort of thing, all the way up to like 5-star. You build it up to the 5-star fancy restaurant stuff.
Nice.
So you have responsibilities such as buying different food recipes to put on your menu. You are responsible for changing up your menu because certain foods you can't have all the time. So you have to, the type of food that you have like affects how popular your restaurant is on the daily. And I'll get to that. So you build your menu, you have chores like washing dishes, taking out the trash, setting rat traps. You have to pay attention to health inspections. And there's also upgrades for not just your food items, just like better quality ingredients or new recipes to add on to make things more, I don't know, complicated, I guess.
Sure.
Like you can add like Thousand Island dressing to your salad rather than just ranch. Ooh. But you can also get upgrades like air conditioner or table snacks to make your customers more patient, or a dishwasher so you do less dishes during the day, stuff like that.
Sure.
So that's like the gist of it. I love this game. I love everything about it. I don't have a single bad thing to say about it. I love that it's very heavily based on like typing. I've always really loved typing games, and I don't play any. Like, it's not like I have any in my library that I could immediately point to that being like, I love this typing game. But I love that it's rooted in typing.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes me harken back to Mavis Beacon Teaches Typing, which Trent, I'm not sure you're familiar with.
No, I have no idea what that is.
So Mavis Beacon Teaches Typing, I think, was first introduced in like the 80s, and it has gone through many iterations. It is the typing program that my elementary school used to teach us typing at our dedicated computer typing time.
Sure.
And it's just one of those ones where you have different lessons, and you just have to like type what the screen says correctly and do it relatively quickly and with little errors, that sort of thing. But the best part about this Mavis Beacon Teaches Typing were the games, because you could do cool typing games to test your like words per minute and your accuracy and everything. But the best one was the DNA one, which little like DNA, what do you call those? The helix, yeah. I was like losing it. The different like helixes would come up on the screen with words that you would have to type. And so all of the different helixes were kind of color coded to different animal species. And so you would just kind of type as fast as you could all the different ones that you wanted. And then kind of once the time limit was done, there's like the aggregate of all the different things that you completed, and it would show you like the creature that you created from that. It'd be like a rhino head with like a lion's body and stuff like that. So that was really fun as like a third grader to play this game, because you just like type really fast and create these really bizarre animals.
Yeah, it sounds almost familiar. I just Googled it to try and get a mental picture of it, and I don't think this is what we use, but we obviously did something similar in elementary school. My favorite one was, there was one where it was like a Space Force Defender thing. So it was like, there was meteors coming with either words or strings of character that you had to type, and then your little rocket would like blow them up. And it would just get progressively harder and harder. So I feel like that's the one that like we got really competitive over, but I don't quite remember.
Yeah, so I don't know. I guess there just must be some part of me that like, based off of the Mavis Beacon experience, it just makes me really happy to have this typing game, because it's kind of like competitive in the same way. So if y'all haven't heard of Mavis Beacon Teaches Typing, just maybe do a little YouTube search or something. Like,
Wow.
My childhood right there. So to kind of go along with like how fun just I find the typing part of this game is like, you really get in this flow state with this game.
Yes.
Because once you go through a couple days, like the restaurant day is like 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. that you're in the restaurant actively serving orders. You, by day 2, have memorized what the key bindings are, and all the different orders that you can get, so you can fulfill orders and cook things very quickly and with this almost mindlessness. So like, depending on how well you know the different recipes, you just are like, oh yep, hot dog with ketchup, K, enter, go. Like, salad with all these different things, boom, go. Like, I need to make this fried chicken, boom, go. Like, and then you just kind of get in this like rhythm, and it's so pleasing to me.
Yeah, if you ever want to feel like powerful and on top of your game, this is a great game for that.
Yeah, and you don't, honestly, if you miss an order, you don't really get penalized. The only penalty is that you miss out on the money you make from that order. It's not like, really, that's it. So you don't even have to feel that bad if you miss something. Although I love it when I have a perfect day.
Oh yeah.
It's so nice when I have a perfect day. I got so mad because I had an average order, which doesn't count to your combo of things you fulfill in a row. I had an average order when I played yesterday, and I was so mad because I accidentally put Thousand Island dressing instead of ranch.
Oh no.
So yeah, the flow state of that I get into in this game is unreal. I also love the fact that you can build your daily menu, and you have to pay attention to the positive and negative effects of what you have on your menu. For example, I have beer on my menu, which is a thing you can have all day, every day. because there are some foods that, like burgers or chicken, that if you have more than 2 days in a row, people get tired of that being on the menu because they want to see something new. Beer is not one of those things. But at the same time, beer is alcohol, and some people don't like it that you're serving alcohol at like 8 a.m. So that negatively affects kind of the daily popularity of your restaurant.
Sure.
And there's other things like how much trash certain foods output, or how much dishes you have to do because of them, whether they're more prone to having rats come to you, whether they're fatty food, a healthy food, good for rainy days. There's so many different things that you have to pay attention to that affect just how much people are going to come into your restaurant. They call it the buzz. It's like a percentage. They also, and I haven't gotten to this part because I think you need like a 2-star restaurant, and I'm like 5 days away from my 1-star, but there is like an Iron Chef component to this game where it seems like there's kind of this like competition element, this like regional competition where you, I don't know, probably do the same stuff in the game, but just on a competitive level against other 2-star chefs and whatnot.
Sure.
And I'm so pumped for when I get to that point because growing up, I watched Iron Chef Japan a lot with my parents. It's so much better than Iron Chef America. I still watch Iron Chef Japan episodes on YouTube because it's so good. But it just like makes me so happy that like that's an element, just like competitive chef stuff. Not just building up your restaurant and doing well there, but also just competing against the best of the best in your region is so cool. And then the other weird thing that's in this game is that there's like a betting system. So there's people that are like, I'll give you, I bet you $300 that you can't have a combo of 15, for example. So if you just get like 15 orders in a row, perfect, and you take on that bet, then you get $600. And so there's like this whole system where you can look at what the current bets are, and you can just like accept certain bets and make extra money off of that, which is just a fun little extra thing. Yeah, that. I don't know what else to say. Like everything is just everything is so fun with this game. I highly recommend it. They also have there's a 2 and a 3, like there's a second and third game in this series. They both seem to be doing pretty well, although I don't know. I'm so pleased with this first one. I no notes. Like
wow. This is the most fired up you've been about a game, I think, on the pod.
It's so good. Yeah, no, I love it. It's great. What'd you play this week?
Wow. So I played The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt.
Hell yeah.
It's a big game.
It's so good.
Colossally big game.
It's so good.
So it's the third game in the Witcher series. And I guess to clear up a slight, I don't know, I guess pop culture, I don't know what phrase I'm trying to pull right now. A bit of misinformation.
Misinformation, okay.
So, because with the Netflix show, everybody's like, oh, it's a TV show based off of a video game series.
No.
The Witcher is an extremely long-running, like, old-school fantasy book series that the games were based off of, and the Netflix show is also based off of, though it does pull a bit from the content of this particular Witcher game. Like they correspond in what they cover.
Yeah. Like the show can act as, in a sense, as like a prequel to some of the game content.
Yeah, it seems about right.
Yeah.
So The Witcher 3, at least, is an open world fantasy action RPG made by CD Projekt, which is a Polish game studio.
Oh,
kind of fun.
Interesting.
And was released in 2015 first. So this is like one of the most highly acclaimed, biggest releases of the decade.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of weird talking about this game because I feel like anybody who even kind of pays attention to video games will know this game.
Yeah.
Even if they haven't played it, you know of it. So in this game you play, well, this and all other Witcher games, you play as Geralt, who is a witcher, which is like a sort of human magic-y faction of monster killers / mercenaries. There's like a whole lore situation.
Yeah, the lore is deep in this series, so
because it's like 30 years of books.
Yeah.
So they have kind of a weird relationship with everybody else. Like people kind of either don't trust them, or like mostly don't trust them, but also will like pay them money to go do things for them, usually in the form of slaying monsters or finding people, things like that. They have like they got like spidey senses, so they can kind of just find stuff. So I've played close to 10 hours of this game as of now. This is a game you can spend hundreds of hours in.
Hundreds.
And so I got through like the intro segment, and then we did some other stuff. Yeah, and that was 8 hours of gameplay, like that. It goes super quick. And there is like an overall story. I don't know. It's like find this girl before Ice Sauron and his merry band of thieves get her. Like that's the
much.
Wild Hunt. There's a girl. I don't know. But who really cares when you got those side quests, Big B?
Oh, true.
So many side quests, and it's like high quality side quests. Like one of the stereotypes of this kind of game, like the role playing fantasy open world, is like there's just a lot of shitty side quests. Like go kill 10 rabbits.
Yeah,
Go
it's like
take this book to this person.
it's like in World of Warcraft, which is like an online RPG game that's been around for a while. And a lot of the quest system there is just like, oh, run this errand for me. And then when you run that errand, they're like, oh, run this other errand for me. So you're just going across the map doing really nothing. And then you somehow get experience from it. And,
yeah,
but
it's
it's not
kind of the
fulfilling.
trope. So this game, the side quests are not always, but frequently like really well written with some kind of depth. I'm going to take a step back because I'm getting ahead of myself in my notes. We'll come back to that. So in terms of like what you do, like you're a witcher, you're a badass, you got 2 fucking swords,
Hell
which is like a really cool piece of character design because it's like one is a steel sword, you murder men with this. One is a silver sword, you slash the demon-y monster things with it. It's like a werewolf situation, silver bullet. So that's very cool. But yeah, you can pretty much just like trounce around this world with your magic teleporting horse.
Yes.
Like, so the horse is like a character. He's called Roach.
I love him.
But God, this dude's like a fucking like weeping angel from Doctor Who, because he always, you can whistle to call him pretty much wherever you are. Fine, that's a thing. But I swear to God, always comes from behind. Even if like I know he's over there, like I left him there and I'm like, I don't feel like walking back. Roach, whistle, and then you hear him and you're just like, he just appears behind you for some reason. Goodness. And if you take him, if you ride your horse pretty much like 30 seconds any direction, you'll find something. Like it's a really densely populated, well-crafted world. It feels weirdly like authentically, it's a weird way to phrase this, authentically middle-aged Europe.
Oh, yeah.
Even though it's like
There's
fantasy,
dragons.
there's
And
spooky boys.
Yeah.
So that's kind of fun. It's kind of a different vibe. It made me think a lot because I just watched a video about Kingdom Come Deliverance, which was this very strange RPG that was released in the last couple of years. So Kingdom Come Deliverance is not a fantasy game, but it is a kind of open world role-playing game that's very, very realistic, and you play as like some like lowly squire from Middle Ages Poland or something like that.
whoa, okay.
Super weird, but it kind of like in terms of world design feels really similar to that, which is interesting because this is so fantasy heavy with the magics and then the demon and the spookies and
creepy
whatnot.
wraiths and whatnot.
Yeah. So coming back to the side quests, I just wanted to give an example to kind of segue me into my next little bit. So one quest I did to give you a vibe of how they do the side quests, because it's usually something like this. I was told some guy was like, "Hey, I don't know where my wife is, or like any of these other people. Can you find them? Last time I saw them, they were somewhere over here." And that leads you to this entrance of a mine. And then you like go about in the dark of the mine and you find like some dead people. And you use your spidey senses to be like, what happened? Are there more dead people? And that leads you to like a couple people who are alive up in like a nook. And they're like, oh shit, fuck, shit went down, help. And then you're like, oh no, it was bugs all along. And then you have to like go destroy these like things of bug eggs and kill the mama bug. So there's like it eventually.
I'm very surprised that the example you went with was like a bug one of all, like I don't know. Of all the like fantasy monster things that are.
I mean, there's some there's some thick lads, these bugs. It was just the most recent one that I could come up with, like that I remembered with any degree of like specificity.
Yeah.
So anyway, so you kind of end up at the like, oh, hunt, but there's like at least like a story, there's an arc to it. I mean, they freaking voice acted the dialogue between you and the characters.
Yeah.
So high quality content, we'll just say that. So to get to a couple cons that I have for this, the first is going off of that bug quest. I've had this problem in other similar games, such as Skyrim, which I loathe. The difficulty is kind of all over the place, and it's very difficult to tell where you should not be. This is a problem I have a lot with open world RPGs, is like, you'll be like, I want to explore because this world's built for exploring, and then you'll just encounter some dudes who just murderize you immediately because you're just way underleveled for the area. So this game area wise doesn't do that as much, but quest wise, I got like all these quests that are like level 35 quests and I'm like level 4, and it'll like auto attach me to them when they show up.
Yeah, you do kind of have to babysit your quest tracking in this game, because you're right, when you come across something that ends up being a new quest, the game will be like, oh yes, and this is your quest now. So I have to do a lot, at least when I play, I have to do a lot of, okay, let me go back into this menu and pick the quest that's within my level.
Yeah. So I learned that the hard way.
You sure did.
Because the aforementioned quest with the tanky lad bugs. So I was whatever, fucking dick deep in this quest. Like I've been doing it for 30 minutes. I nothing seemed amiss because I was finding these bugs. And like another thing that makes this a little confusing in this game is the enemy levels have nothing to do with your levels, as best I can tell. Like I've killed things that are level 7 without any problem at like level 3. And I've also like had my ass kicked by things that are like level 2. Like, not to say that they're not related at all, but just the level doesn't really tell me how strong it is or if I'm supposed to be in that area. Because these bugs were level 5. I was level 4. And they were tanky. And I was like, they take a little while. They got thick skin. But, like, they're not really doing that much damage to me. This seems fine. Well, that's
because you're at, like, a comparable level.
Right. But remember, the quest level for this was 35. So, I'm going through, and one of the things you have to do is you have to kill Mama Bug. Mama Bug, and I, like, up until this point, not really a lot of problems. We're fighting bugs, things are fine. I get to Mama Bug. Mama Bug kills me in one hit. And I don't even know what the fuck is going on. I like swam through a cave. I pop up. There's a couple little bugs, and I'm like, hoo-da-doo-da-doo, swinging my sword, blowing some fire. I'm a witcher. Fuck y'all. And then Mama Bug comes up behind me and just eats me. And I'm like, well, something seems wrong here. And then I check the quest level because I'm panicking trying to get out of the situation. Enclosed area, lots of bugs. Mama Bug's pouncing around. She's built like a goddamn truck. And I check the quest level, and it's level 35. And I'm like, how did I get in this situation? So, this is not a unique problem to this game, but that was something I struggled with, as I always do in these kinds of games. I do think the fighting is a little jank. Just like a little jank. So there's like a lock-on situation, which is all well and good, but it's way too stiff. Like, Geralt will still be locked on, even though I didn't tell him to. He'll still be focused on a guy who's like way over here. So if I attack, he won't hit the guys who are immediately next to him. He's just gonna like go for that guy, even though that's not what I want him to do. And he also like will sometimes do lunges when I'm like kind of at a mid distance, and sometimes he'll just like whiff and not do that. So I have a little bit of trouble managing that. Let's see. I'm also now we're getting into just like nitpicky things that are my personal preference. I like me a looty RPG where there's just like lots of stuff. I like the acquisition of stuff in games. This game is not a good looty RPG. There's like a fuck ton of stuff, but I don't know what any of it does. Like I have like many dozens of things in my inventory, and I don't know what they're for and if I will ever use them, because I'm guessing most of them are like crafting or alchemy components. But like I don't know, like they seem to give me everything kind of all at once instead of like things that are useful for you at specifically this stage of the game.
And is that what you prefer?
Yeah, I mean this is a lesser issue to me. Like this isn't a big deal, but it makes the point of this is between that and like the amount of like obviously useful stuff that you get is really low, so it makes like looting at all not very exciting. Like I could probably count on one hand the amount of times I found something that was obviously useful, like a new piece of equipment or a potion or something.
Interesting.
Pretty much everything I ended up actually using, I had to buy.
Interesting.
Because I just wasn't finding a lot of useful stuff. And when you do find like the useful stuff, it's hidden behind a layer of separation because they're the recipes usually. So a lot of the new gear you make will be crafted through recipes. So like it's a lot less exciting to get a piece of paper that says, hey, you can make this thing now, instead of like, I found this new sword, it's made of gold, like that kind of reaction. Yeah, but that's just me.
Yeah,
I'm a loot slut.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I love the looting, but mostly because I do a lot of crafting and alchemy in the game. So
Sure.
like all the little things that you get that don't seem as useful in the beginning of the game do have like a purpose.
Yeah, I'm sure they will.
Yeah, but it's just because I do a lot of like oil making and
I just never seem to. Yeah, so one of the things you can do for combat is you can make oils that go on your weapons that enhance your damage against specific kinds of enemies. But I never seem to have. This is what I mean with like it's not useful right now. I never seem to have the stuff to make the oils for enemies that I'm actually fighting. So that's a little bit of a bummer. But like it's not the end of the world at all. Yeah, so that's all I have like con wise. I'm just gonna go ahead and say like play this game if you like to explore and ignore main quests. I feel like that's the total vibe. Also play this if you are a big fan of like CGI titties and peener. Like there's a lot of that. Like I think in the literally the first cutscene of the game, there's some hanky panky going on.
Oh yeah, there are naked people everywhere.
Yeah, which I'm sure is like not that jarring if you're playing like ultra 4K HD whatever. But we play in kind of like low res for this game because of the equipment we have, and like mediocrely rendered CGI titties and peener are like not the most beautiful thing in the world. So that it's a little like, whoa, okay, we going, all right. And finally, like, you may or may not know this, but like definitely play this game if you're a big fan of Yu-Gi-Oh! Or like to roleplay as a Magic the Gathering player, because fuck yeah, we didn't talk about goddamn Gwent yet.
Oh yeah, baby.
So this game has an entire game within its game.
Hell yeah. That's really what I'm here for.
So Gwent is a card game, like a strategic card game, and as you go through the world, you can buy cards for your Gwent decks from vendors or win them from people in like a Yu-Gi-Oh style duel. That's overselling a little bit. You're just playing cards. There's not like they don't summon large demons or anything. It's just a card game.
Awesome though.
That would be a good addition.
Yeah.
So it gives you like a weird like if you're like I'm really sick of just fighting shit and just want to play a card game, just do that. Like most of the vendors will play with you.
Yeah, and that's like the fun part of it too, is that like you can go up to pretty much any person in the game that sells something and you can challenge them to Gwent.
Yeah.
And it's not like it's part of the quest line or anything.
Yep.
You just can challenge them to Gwent. If you win, they'll give you a card.
Yep.
But there's also separate quest lines that are just for you winning against the best Gwent players in the region. So, like, it's the best of both worlds.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like you could... I mean, I'm not going to go as far as to say you could play the entire game, but like you could have a lengthy, many-houred experiences of role-playing as Geralt, the Magic the Gathering player, and just going from town to town and beating their best players and taking their cards.
Yeah.
So that's a little bonus.
And the music, well, I mean, the music in this entire game is fantastic, but the Gwent music is like, I love it.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, in case I didn't make it clear, like super high quality release. Like the definition of what a AAA game should be. Big, everything's really polished. Like it's great. It's a great game. Yeah. That's all I have to say about this.
So good. All right, Trent, what would you rate The Witcher 3? Why?
This is a game I would love to play more of, but may or may not happen because I got a lot going on in my life. But it's a solid like 9.5 out of 10 ice Saurons and his merry band of thieves.
Wow.
What about you? What would you rate Cook Serve Delicious? I think I know where this is going to go.
Okay, here's my problem. I truly can't find anything that I dislike about this game. So
It's okay.
my Bianca's official, but the world's unofficial rating is 10 out of 10 tenderized chickens.
Hell yeah. Obviously. The true answer.
Yeah.
Goodness. All right, well, that's all we have this
Yeah.
week. We'll be back next week with 2 more games.
Two more
I will
games.
be playing Scribblenauts Unlimited.
And I'll be playing Lost Winds.
I have no idea what that is.
Me neither.
Great.
I know what Scribblenauts is.
I also know what Scribblenauts is.
Yeah,
It's
I
also
played
like vaguely close to also being a typing game I'm going to throw out.
This is true. It's fun though. Hooray! Thanks for joining us. If you want to just kind of keep in the know of what we're doing, we have social media. We are on Twitter and Instagram at IFIOT Podcast. And I do the occasional stream on Twitch. That is, I Forgot I Own That Pod. Yee.
Yeah, get on that shit.
Yee.